Hey guys, how are you? This is well, let's just rein in the Lions Gate portal as today is July 26th and the portal officially opens on the 26th of July and it will go usually until August 12th, peaking on the 8/8. However, the energies can sometimes go longer. The portal can stay open much longer. We'll see what happens with this particular Lion's Gate. But this one in particular is very, very potent. I am expecting there to be deep spiritual awakenings that will be triggered by perhaps emotional upheaval to some degree, but with it brings incredible breakthroughs and a spiritual death and rebirth. So with this particular Lionsgate portal in 2024, expect to experience fated events, because there's something really beautiful happening in the sky on the 8/8 day. So on August the 8th, we will be experiencing a geometrical formation of a kite astrologically. And whenever we have this formation, it's rare. It doesn't happen very often. But it holds the 369 energy. And so with this particular formation in the sky, as the sun is now in Leo, it is aligning with the Earth, the Orion's belt. It is also aligning with the star Sirius, all in the constellation of Leo. And so as all of that is happening, we are also going to see a kite formation in the sky between 4 planets. Well, actually 3 planets and a luminary, our moon. And this is going to bring in an effect that opens you up to the higher dimensions. It's going to be a very, very psychic activating experience or energy that's coming through. Many of you, likely over the next couple of weeks, are going to experience a lot of psychic activity within yourself, around you. There's a lot happening. So when we think about the 3/6 energy of this particular kite formation, the kite formation brings in this 3/6 energy through the energies of the 3 is represented by Venus, which represents our values. And actually on next week's podcast, I have 2 guests on and we're talking about sacred geometry. And we actually talked about this at the end of the podcast and they were really excited, and how important the value aspect is for this particular Lion's Gate. But knowing your values and what you stand for, what's so important for you, what's meaningful to you, your values, this 3 energy, it's the point of creation, right? It is what interacts with everything, all that is, it's the interconnectedness. And so the 6 is represented by the planet Jupiter. And Jupiter brings in managed expansion through this kite formation. And so we take what is so meaningful, what we value so much, and we start to expand it through lessons, through growth, and we start to evolve through that. And then the 9 is represented by Neptune, which represents our metamorphosis. And that metamorphosis is so key because that's where we go through that, almost like that death and rebirth energy. Now, what makes this kite formation even more transformative and more potent is that the thing that actually holds the whole kite energy together is held by the opposition of the moon and Neptune in the sky. And the moon will be coming up to 29 degrees of Virgo to oppose Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. And this opposition, the moon is going to be so key because it's the trigger point. It's the activation factor of this entire kind of Lion's Gate. Expect to get very emotional or to start feeling a lot more over the next few weeks. And this is happening because there are certain fears and illusions that it is time for you to dissolve. It is time for you to go beyond, to break free of. And we are in a very interesting period of time, spiritually and collectively on this planet, where, like I've been saying, we have entered into a new timeline. The rapid change that is going to unfold over the next 6 months or so is going to be jarring at times. Even though so many of us have wanted to be in this higher timeline and have been calling it in, what we often forget is that when we get there, there is also a higher pressure of elevation that we have to adjust to, and it can feel scary. And so learning how to manage your emotions and break through these false illusions is the key to this Lion's Gate portal. Within this Lion's Gate, we also are going to be having the activation of Pluto and Uranus. So the four planets are, well, it's the moon, Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. So, Uranus is an extremely powerful planet. It's sudden. It causes disruption. It causes very unexpected events to occur. But it does that because it's time for change. It's time for progression. It's it's very concentrated on the future vision. And Pluto is a very intense planet that just wants to know the truth. It is at all costs wanting to know the truth. It is about balancing the dynamics of power. What is abusing power? Who is abusing power? And restoring that power. So when we look at this, we have some very beautiful triangles in the sky. And when we look at the sacred geometry of just the triangle in general, the triangle is known as the strongest structure. It can withstand between its three sides so much pressure that it will not break. It cannot break. And so I want you guys to think about that as we go into this Lion's Gate portal, that within the Kite Formation, we have 5 triangles. And there are going to be times where you feel a lot of pressure coming in. Now, this could be just the pressure of the increased energies that tend to cause deep spiritual awakenings in a lot of people at this time. A lot of health crisis can come up during Lion's Gate portal. Basically, crisis is definitely something that many of us go through, but it brings forth that deeper spiritual awakening. And so just so you guys know, I've actually released today, if you're in Alchemy, you already have access to it, but I've released today a guided meditation that is here to prepare you for this Lion's Gate. And I utilize the ancient energies of Egypt, the energies of the Nile, the symbol of the Ankh, which is all about life and creation, to help you prepare for the psychic activations, for the deeply felt emotions you're going to be feeling, for the spiritual death and rebirth that is going to be coming through, for you to be able to face your fears and dissolve those illusions that keep holding you back or slowing you down or getting in the way of whatever it is you're pursuing right now, whatever is in your most deepest desire, which you value, okay, the number 3. So In that meditation, I'm leaving a link down to below. So if you're curious, it's if you'd like to get that, I'm leaving that link down below. It's actually a really powerful one, and it's about 20 minutes long. So when we look at the first triangle, which is the grand trine between the moon, Pluto, and Uranus, basically expect sudden psychic powers coming online. I'm a deeply, deeply psychic. Expect for you to have sudden breakthroughs with your intuitive abilities. I would say this Lion's Gate is an extremely powerful time to be meditating, to be connecting with your inner world. The moon represents your inner landscape. It's your all of your deeply held emotions. It's the most personal part of you. And so when we have Pluto powering that up and really intensifying that, also bringing in its own psychic powers, its own ability to connect with the psyche and the occult, really allowing yourself to go into the deeper subconscious patterns of yourself, and then also bringing forth the flowing energies of Uranus, which is like sudden shock, but also breakthroughs, liberations, revolutionizing something for you. All of this is in a very beautiful, healthy trine that just all these energies are flowing effortlessly and feeding into one another. And so that's our first triangle. And then we also have the triangle between we have the Neptune and Uranus. Okay. And that sextile or little grand mini trine is happening to really bring forth deep spiritual awakenings, like Uranus and Neptune together. Now, I want to say this triangle of Neptune, Uranus, and then the one of Neptune, Pluto are door openers. These are opportunities. So expect there to be opportunities that are going to be coming forth. So I would stay on your toes of being ready to say yes to the things that definitely resonate with you, because when we think about Neptune is definitely spiritual. It is the deep, deep, deep inner world of yourself, but it is also your connection to the superconscious. It is your connection to everything beyond this earthly dimension. And this particular Lion's Gate is opening up doors to other dimensions. The veil is going to be extremely thin through this Lion's Gate portal, extremely thin, more thin than usual. And so you may be seeing things that you're not expecting to see. I think this is going to be a time where, the things that maybe are held within conspiracy theories might suddenly make themselves less conspiratorial during this time. Then we look at the Neptune-Pluto energies in the other triangle, and that is, I want to say for that one, spiritual rebirth for sure, but deeply increased spiritual powers where you are now really lifting the veil. You're really open to looking beyond everything you've always known to be true. You're ready to see the truth. You're ready for things that were in the shadows to come forth in a way that also Neptune brings forth deep healing. And so there is a very high potential of deeper healing coming forth. Of course, I feel like it might be preceded by some sort of health crisis for some people, not all, but for some people that might be happening. But I want to say in the end of this all, what is so important is that then we also have like wedge, it creates a wedge formation. So the Neptune to the moon to Uranus and Neptune to the moon to Pluto. So we have that wedge kind of formation going on, which is important. And then the backbone of the kite is the opposition between Moon and Neptune. I can't emphasize to you guys enough for this Moon energy. It is the activation of this entire Lion's Gate. So that means you will transform everything through your feelings. Feel everything that you can. You will likely at times maybe feel overwhelmed. Bring in your awareness of the sacred geometry of the triangle and know that it brings through resilience. It does not break. It can withstand the high pressure. And so as the pressures of the energy keep coming in and building up over the next coming weeks, know that you are not going to break, and allow yourself the opportunity to really not just feel those feelings, but allow yourself to understand them, to connect with them, to deepen your awareness of them and why they're there and how they're influencing potential illusions or fears that don't need to be with you anymore. That's what this Lion's Gate is really all about. It's going to be triggering, to say the least. Now, I want to say, during this Lion's Gate portal, Mercury will be turning retrograde. And we are already in the midst of feeling one of the biggest alignments, I would say the most jarring, challenging alignments of the year, which is where Jupiter and Saturn go head to head. So first Mars will meet up with Saturn in a head-to-head battle, and then Jupiter will quickly, a few days later, meet up with Saturn. But the Saturn-Uranus square is important because the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter happened at that 0 degrees of Aquarius back in 2020. So over the last, I want you to think about like the last 4 years or so, what has been happening for you from that conjunction, because it started a whole new 20-year cycle for you. And something is coming to a head here. Now, yes, these squares bring challenges for you, but they also bring forth the opportunity to really like break through to the next level. So this is kind of like a pivotal point where you've got the energies of very restrictive, conservative, a slower kind of planet of Saturn going head to head with Jupiter that wants to just expand and wants to, Jupiter wants to grow, and it wants more abundance, and it wants, your belief systems are going to be challenged in the middle of August. And the middle of August, the week of the 14th, the 21st, one of the hardest weeks of the entire year for all of us. There's just so much conflicting energy. I don't know what's going to be happening on the world stage at this time, but just prepare yourself. So use this I feel like this Lion's Gate is somehow also connected to the preparation for the ridiculous conflict that I think is going to arise that middle week of August for all of us on some level, but for sure collectively. And the more you're grounded in your spirituality, the more you're connected to your creator, the more you know your own emotions and you're managing them, the better off you will be. You will be very well prepared to enter through that kind of little period of time that I think is going to cause some people to go into a tailspin. Some of you will manage it and you'll be fine, but that's going to be a tricky one. So just keep that one in mind. Is there anything else I want to say here? Just know that meditation is super key for you during this period of time, just because of we've got Pluto, which rules Scorpio. We've got Neptune, which rules Pisces. We've got the moon, which rules Cancer, all in this particular formation that is all about like water, right? So our emotions, our psychic abilities, our inner world, the subconscious, the unconscious, the superconscious, all of that is getting really brought to the forefront. And then you bring in Uranus, which is very forward thinking. It's about looking into your future. Ooh, that is another thing. This Lionsgate, I want you guys to, the more you, okay, this is why it is so important to get so grounded in your spiritual practice and allow yourself to receive information, because I believe that many of you are going to get deeply psychic messages and visions regarding your future. And you will be needing to make decisions over the next few weeks about your future, and you will be guided intuitively, but you won't understand how to make those decisions, like how they make sense. You have to lean in and trust. And if you can lean in and be so attuned to those higher energies, your decisions have the potential to hit the mark, to hit the target on exactly what you need to do so perfectly. So there can be really, really strong messages coming through this Lionsgate that are going to help you make decisions and choices that are so important to your future that will literally hit the mark bullseye for you. Like, it'll be the most perfect decision for you. It'll be the most perfect choice, but you've got to be really spiritually attuned and aligned. So again, I've got a meditation down below that can really help with that. If you're good in your spiritual practice, great. Just do what you normally do. But massively psychic Lions portal this year. All right. So the podcast that is coming out on Tuesday, definitely check it out. I am now airing the podcast a lot earlier in the day on Tuesdays. They're going to be airing at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, so that people who are in Europe or on the other side of the world can get them sooner and during while they're still awake. So that will be airing on Tuesday, and just incredible podcast. Like, oh my gosh, you're going to love this couple. They're actually here in Colorado. I can't wait to go to their property. The sacred geometry that we go into is so beautiful. The conversations. So if you're into sacred geometry, which a lot of this Lionsgate is bringing forth as well, which of course, I never planned it this way. It just happens. It'll be a great podcast for you guys to listen to. So definitely tune into that one. All right, guys, I love you. I'm going to leave it there. Have an incredible Lionsgate. The doors have opened. The portal is now here. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it since yesterday. It's crazy because Chiron goes retrograde today. So whenever, it's an asteroid, but it's probably bringing up a lot of like, God, what do I need to heal? Like, what are my wounds? Really feeling like you need to go internal and really kind of maybe even lick a few wounds. I don't know, but the energy's really shifted yesterday. I felt like, I was on such a high momentum and then all of a sudden flatlined, and I just like couldn't like manage my energy to do the things I really wanted to do or needed to do. Like, it was just so blasé. I don't know, just like kind of like this like depressive energy just kind of pulled into the field. And I don't know if it was just me who felt that. I think a few other people felt that, but I think it has something to do with Chiron going retrograde right now. Usually when a planet or an asteroid goes retrograde, we always feel it one on the day for sure, but within a day or two on either side. So and then we have that also opening up this Lionsgate portal. That's why I feel like big healing is coming through. So allow yourself to prepare for that. All right, guys, I love you. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week.